Howdy, Panther family. My name is Jim Lister-Looker. I'm one of the assistant principals here at PDCMS, and I would like to welcome you to this edition of Panther Style for Friday, August 26th, 2022. Let's get going. So our first slide is a description of how to have automatically translated closed captioning appear at the bottom of this video. These instructions are for Spanish language captions, but you can choose any language supported by Google Translate. And I'm not even sure at this point how many languages they support. It's a ton. And step 6 is sort of a proactive apology, just in case anything that gets automatically translated is kind of wonky. So please forgive us if that happens. So in today's Panther Style, we are going to talk about parking lot safety. I've got a very exciting diagram for you guys. Love a diagram. We're going to talk about our Panther Plus after school program, and we're going to take a look at the week ahead. So parking lot safety. I'm going to show you guys some tips and tricks, rules of the road to help you get in and out of the Magnesia Falls parking lot quickly as possible, and keeping our students safe at the same time. All right, so here's that exciting diagram, right? So we've got 5 chunks of the parking lot to talk about. So let's talk about A first. A is designated parking. So there will be parked cars in lane A. A lot of people who live in the apartments across the way, across Magnesia Falls, do park in that lot. So that is designated parking only, please. B is a slide through and drop off lane. That is a drop off zone. You can drop off your student there. We do have people assisting crossing at the far end of the parking lot. But some students choose not to do that, right? So if you want your student to have some assistance crossing the lot, you can send them on down and we'll help them over. C is designated parking, those diagonal spots. I'm going to talk about that in a second. So D is really probably the most important piece of this diagram here. D is a through lane. As long as we keep D moving along as a through lane, traffic can get in and out of that parking lot pretty quickly. So please do not drop your student off in D. Please don't drop your student because they will be crossing traffic in lane E right there. If you need a little bit more time, like let's say your student needs to pull their backpack together, finish their breakfast, what have you, you can go ahead and pull into the diagonal spots in C. It's a really good place to get that out of the way. And E, of course, is a drop lane. And we do like to encourage you to pull as far forward as you can. If you stop back pretty far, it doesn't take a whole lot of time for traffic to back up all the way onto Magnesia Falls. And being on the other side of that's no fun. So let's keep E moving along. Let's keep D a through lane and use the other lanes as described here. So far, it could change, but I've noticed that the sweet spot for morning traffic is between 7:15 and 7:40. You can get in and out of that lot with zero stress, no stress whatsoever. Anything after 7:40 tends to get a little congested, and it stays that way until 8:05. Sometimes 8:05 clears up completely. It's kind of hit or miss, but if your student can make class in 5 minutes, 8:05 might be a good option. I mean, I'm not encouraging you to come a little bit later than normal, but that seems to be kind of clear as well. I'm going to be talking about after-school programs a little bit later in this episode, and so what we've got is a number of staggered pickup times due to the programs, and that might help traffic be a little bit less frustrating. Okay. All of that said, the Rutledge Gate by our soccer field is generally a pretty quick way to pick up your student and get out of there. All right. So speaking of after school programs, Panther Plus is coming up on Monday. So let's review just a little bit about that. I'm sure you've received a number of emails from me. I've been trying to keep those to a minimum, but I want everybody to be pretty well informed about what we're offering after school. So all of this text, lots of text, probably too much text for a slide, um, talks about how to access the program agreement, which we are asking everybody who participates to complete. It's a pretty simple form. We have a live schedule that is published for Panther Plus that we update as needed. The one that's currently up there is for August and September, and I'll show you that in a minute here. And then we do have program information, just a general description of what the program is, offered in both English and Spanish. If you look through all this stuff, or if you have other questions, please feel free to send me an email. That exceptionally long email address down below is mine, james.lister-looker@desertsands.us. Or you can email Michael Walton at michael.walton@desertsands.us. We'll be happy to help you out. So here's what we've got in the on the menu, let's say for August and September. We've got morning and afternoon library times available. We do have homework help for humanities and math that will be available. The room numbers are there. And then we do have yoga that we've added recently, and we've got an art offering that we added recently. So you'll see in that commitment column there, most of the options that we've got so far are drop in, drop out. There's no commitment. You can come when you need it. You can come when you need some extra help, even when you need a later pickup, right? I mean, these are available as drop in, drop out sessions. But the yoga and art offerings, we are asking for a 1-week commitment. So before you have your students sign up for those, just please remember, we are asking for a 1-week commitment for those. We will be adding to this schedule over time, which is really cool. This is just our initial offering. In a couple of months, it's going to be just stellar. It's going to be awesome. All right, so really that kind of begs the question, when and where can I pick up my kid? There's a lot of different options here. So after school, it's business as usual. Back parking lot or the Magnesia Falls gate. I'm sorry, the Rutledge soccer gate. After Panther Plus, if they are not going to stay for supper, students can be picked up at 3:45 at our bus gate. So if you're not familiar where that is, having a difficult time today. If you're not familiar where our bus gate is located, pretend you're going to the soccer gate on Rutledge Way and keep going, and you're going to see the divot in where the bus drops off students and picks them up. If your student is going to stay for supper, we are asking you to come to our visitor parking lot and pick up at the gate there by the Sally Fraser Forum for the Arts, which is the new name of our MPR. There's a gate right there, and you can pick your student up at 4:20 if they stay for supper. And, always the Bridges program ends at 5 o'clock-ish, 5 and some change. You can pick your students up just like it's always been at the Panther Pavilion, and you come in through our front gate. All right, let's look at the week ahead. I'm not going to read all of these to you, but we're ramping up with some stuff. Kind of the big announcement is back to school night. Back to school night is on September 1st at 5:30 p.m. There will be more information coming out about back to school night. And I am noticing a typo on here, several. And full disclosure, this is my 3rd attempt to record Panther style, so I'm not going to correct the typos and go back, but I want you to ignore everything that you see in the Friday column. It is not September 32nd on Friday, and we are not having a tropical shirt day fundraiser, so please ignore that. Everything else, totally legit, and it is happening. It's embarrassing. All right. So as always, we end with, an inspirational message. So last year, kind of late, we adopted the acronym PRIDE, So this year, Panthers have pride. And I'm going to talk to you more about what all of the initials in the acronym mean next week. That will be the focus of Panther Style. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the school year. This is Jim Lister-Looker. I am your assistant principal at Palm Desert Charter Middle School, and thank you for watching this edition of Panther Style.